One of the most desired scooters in Brazil, the Honda ADV has undergone changes not only in its design and engine, but above all, it has become more technological. And in this video, you'll find out everything about it. Technical features, performance in the city and on the road, colors and price, fuel consumption, insurance cost, and of course, my honest opinion with the pros and cons, so you can make the best purchase decision. If you're new here, I'm Amanda Pagliari, and this is the most charming motorcycle channel in Brazil, which also brings you the most complete two-wheel reviews on the internet. So go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you think this video added value to your life. A success in Brazil since its launch, the Honda ADV attracts attention wherever it goes. A very beautiful, adventurous scooter with this look that was first introduced with the ex-ADV Honda's adventure scooter. And then, of course, it moved on to the 150, the previous version of this one, and later to the ADV350, which unfortunately we still don't have in Brazil. By the way, if you would like to see the ADV350 here in Brazil, write it in the comments. This scooter draws attention not only because of its design, but also because of its details and its finish. You can notice how the fairings fit together, very well built. So we're talking about a premium scooter here, let's put it that way, right? A small premium scooter. I really like the finish, you know? This color here turned out really beautiful. You have to see it up close to understand what I'm talking about. The windshield, it has an adjustment, right? Just like in the previous version. And the cool thing is that it's not electronic at all. You just loosen it here and raise or lower it according to your preference. All the lights are LED, so up front we have a very beautiful headlight, including a very sophisticated position light. It has hazard lights, the turn signals are well positioned here on the fairing in LED, as well as the rear turn signals and the tail light. It has an adventurous look, but is it just on the outside? Does it have features that really make it suitable for off-road, for adventure? We know that it shares a lot with the PCX, like the engine and also the chassis structure. But the ADV here has some differences compared to the PCX. For example, the ground clearance, which is 16.5 centimeters. In other words, it's a tall scooter, enough to get over obstacles that are very common off-road. However, this height doesn't compromise the total seat height to the ground. So I'm going to get on here so you can see. Look, I'm 1.77 meters tall, and I can put both feet on the ground without difficulty. There's still plenty of bike for me, even on the center stand. It has 78 centimeters from the seat to the ground, a height similar to the PCX, but it's important that you do a test ride at the dealership, so you can rest your legs here at a 90-degree angle. There's this little space here to stretch, but for me, it doesn't really work, okay? What I really like, and what is much more comfortable for me, is to keep the 90-degree position. That way I have a very comfortable posture, my arms aren't stretched out. I can handle the scooter here very easily. Unlike the PCX, the handlebar is wide. So be a little careful, especially in traffic lanes. But it's not too difficult really. Soon you'll see onboard footage of me riding in the city, in heavy traffic. We also have a different rake angle, so here the scooter is much more agile, at least in theory, compared to the PCX. Regarding the wheels, we have a more adventurous version here. Although it doesn't come with spoked wheels, it comes with alloy wheels, and we have dual-purpose tires. This is very important for you to be able to ride off-road. So the cool thing is that it comes with tires, 14-inch rims in the front, 13 in the back, tubeless, and of course with the profile for you to ride both on asphalt and on dirt. The center stand already comes standard, as I mentioned, but if you want to equip your ADV, both the 150 version and this one, the 160, my tip is for you to get the Scam accessories. Scam is known for the quality of its accessories for big trail motorcycles, the big ones. However, not everyone knows that they also make accessories for medium and low displacement bikes like trails, streets, and of course, scooters. And here at Scam, they have a complete line for all kinds of motorcycles. Just click the link in the description or point your phone's camera at the quick response code on the screen to check out the complete line of accessories for your motorcycle. And here for the ADV160, we have lots of accessories like fairing guards, hand guards, exhaust guards, which are very useful, license plate reinforcement, and top case support. You're going to need to put a top case here on your ADV. My tip is for you to buy this case here too, also from Scam, from the economy line. It appears to be aluminum, but it's actually injected plastic, just as strong, very lightweight, and really nice looking. It has some features, and the important thing is that this case here fits on any motorcycle because it has a universal base. Look at the screen to see how beautiful the ADV160 looks with this Scam case. And what's cool is that it has a premium finish. The inside has this lining with a pocket, both on the top and the bottom. This lining is removable. Besides that, it has a very sturdy stainless steel lock and 2 backrests, so you can take your passenger with a lot of comfort. You can fit a lot of things in this case. In fact, look, you can fit a full face helmet, which is very useful for carrying your helmet or even some belongings. If you want to buy this case, I'll leave the link here in the Mercado Livre description. They deliver all over Brazil, so I think it's really worth it. Not only can you put the Scam case on, but of course all the accessories too. In the front suspension, we have a conventional telescopic fork with a suspension that's a bit sturdier than the PCX with 5 inches of travel. And in the rear, there are 2 springs with a gas reservoir, also Showa suspension with 4.33 inches of travel and no adjustment. The weight of the ADV is 128 kilos dry weight, not counting the fluids like, for example, its fuel tank, which has a capacity of 8 liters of gasoline. It's not flex fuel. And to open it, we turn the key here and press the fuel button. And it will open the compartment, and the tank is in this more centralized position here. And that's good because unlike the PCX where it's in the back, here we can have the mass more concentrated at the bottom. And with that, the scooter is much easier to handle. To open the seat in the same position here, Fuel City, you just press underneath and that's it. The seat will open. Here under the seat, you can fit an open face helmet. I tested it with a full face helmet, the Icon model from Pills, and it didn't fit. Actually, it kind of fits, but you really have to force the seat down. So I'm not sure if that could cause some kind of problem with the seat or even the helmet. So I preferred not to put it in. Besides the helmet, you can also fit your gloves. You can put a raincoat or your jacket down here. But if you want to ride with a full face helmet, my tip is to get a top case, okay? To close it, here are the tools. Here is this document. And to close it, just come here, push it, and that's it. For the brakes, we have discs on both wheels with 9.449 inches in the front and a disc with 8.66 inches in diameter in the rear. And the anti-lock braking system, ABS, is only on the front wheel. Here on the left side, we have a compartment without a lock. So you just press here to open or close it. And inside, we have a USB Type-C port. The seat is a single piece with this lumbar support here for the rider. The passenger seat has a different texture, okay? The passenger handle is made of resin in a beautiful color, and the retractable aluminum footrest is included. And it comes with a presence sensor, including an alarm, which I'll demonstrate for you in just a moment. Here, it's showing that the key is nearby, right? And the dashboard is 100% digital with a lot of information. The hazard lights are on. Up here we have some warning lights like the turn signals, also the high beam indicator and the battery. Down here there's the ABS indicator and the start-stop. And here in the center we have the tachometer information over here on the left side. In the center we have the speedometer, down here the fuel gauge and the clock up here. Here we have the temperature, and now down here we have the onboard computer information. Notice that there's kind of a selection here. To choose the menu information, it's directly on this part here, not on the handle. It's almost next to the dashboard. So we changed it here, traction control, there's trip B, trip A, and the total odometer. To change it, to go to the upper section, we press the arrow here and see that it's selected. Here we have the average consumption, we have the time here, how long it stayed on and everything for A and B. So we have partials. Here it shows you the instant consumption, here the average consumption for trip A, average consumption for trip B. So you can do partials, for example, city and highway, which is really cool. And up here, besides the engine temperature, we can change it and display the battery voltage. Very useful, since the battery might run out in your garage, so you can check the voltage accurately. And that's all the information. I found the dashboard very complete. And to turn off the traction control with it activated here, see, it's showing up here at the top. You hold and keep pressing, and it will show this bar. It means it's turned off. You can use it off-road, for example. But every time you restart your ADV160 for safety, the traction control will come back on and work here. I don't know if you noticed, but the ADV's dashboard is scratched. Look, you get a brand new motorcycle with the dashboard already in this condition. So how do you avoid this kind of situation? Whether you have an ADV160 or any other type of motorcycle, my tip is for you to get Protle's protective films. Your phone likely has a screen protector, so it makes sense to put one on your more expensive motorcycle, right? Choose from various motorcycle types in glossy or matte anti-glare finishes. The kit is comprehensive. Simply follow the provided instructions. Protle's screen protector uses electrostatic technology like phone screen protectors without glue. And it protects against damage caused by scratches, dust, sunlight, and wear over time. It doesn't come off in water, and the anti-glare version doesn't leave fingerprints. And on top of that, it even hides pre-existing scratches. And if you need to remove the film, it will come off without damaging or leaving any residue. It's really worth it. So, which one did you like the most? The glossy film or the matte anti-glare one? The cool thing is that besides protecting your dashboard, it also adds value when reselling, since it will be protected, and you can even sell your motorcycle above the FIP table price. To get it with Amandina's discount code Amanda20, just click the link in the description or point your phone's camera at the quick response code on the screen. Don't waste time, just buy it with my code and that's it. You'll receive it at your home, and it comes with an instruction manual and the complete kit for you to install on your motorcycle. Go ahead and share it with your friends. Here on the right side of the handlebar controls, we have the button to start the motorcycle and the hazard lights. And here, what does this off and A mean? It's the idling stop, popularly known as start and stop. When you stay at a traffic light for a few seconds or stop with it running, right? It will turn off, and then to get going again, you just accelerate here and that's it, just like the PCX. And here on the left side, we have the left turn signal, right turn signal, horn and low beam, and here is the high beam. One cool thing is that now the new ADV160 comes with a factory alarm. And why is that important? Because you don't need to do any hacks, and you won't lose the warranty. So the system is already connected to the motorcycle's electronics and also to the engine control unit. So you press here, the alarm is activated. Then I leave in case a thief comes to take your scooter. It's really annoying. To turn it off, just press it. You can control 3 levels of sensitivity to adjust how much movement is needed to activate it, which is cool because sometimes only a little maneuver is required. I moved it with no effect. You can control it here, correct? Touching it makes it beep or not. The person can move it a little bit, but if they really insist, then it will beep. Then you turn it off here. Then there's the other one. This one is on 1. Anyway, guys, whoever buys it will read the manual properly. But it's important for you to know that besides the 3 intensity levels, there are also 3 sound intensity levels to really annoy the criminals. That's really good because it already comes from the factory. Oh, and a cool thing is that it's smart. A smart alarm. Imagine you left your scooter there. I'm going to travel during the year-end holiday. and you stopped there in the garage, and you stopped moving, stopped riding the scooter, what will happen? It will understand that it has been stopped for a long time and will deactivate the alarm, which will consume less battery. In other words, since this is integrated into the ADV's design, this type of alarm is much better than installing a third-party alarm, but that doesn't mean you don't need to get insurance. That's important too, but at least it prevents or makes things harder for thieves. The engine that equips the ADV160 is the same as the PCX, the single cylinder with liquid cooling and 156.9 cubic centimeters, which produces 8,500 revolutions per minute and 3.21 pounds-meter of torque. And the final transmission is a continuously variable transmission type, which means it's an automatic scooter. In practice, you just accelerate and brake. If you want to know all the differences, what changed between the ADV150 and the ADV160, just watch the really cool video I made at Honda's invitation showing all the details of the differences. And then you can see if it's worth getting a used 150, right? Or a brand new 160. And now that I've already told you all the details about this scooter, it's time to ride it around the city and also take it out on the road. By the way, if you're enjoying this video and think it's one of the most complete on YouTube, how about leaving a like? Your support motivates me to create more videos like this despite the hard work involved. Now that you know everything, join me as we ride my scooter around the city and on the road. To handle traffic, this scooter is great. It's just the right size in terms of width, weight, dimensions, and engine. You don't need more than this to ride in heavy traffic. The seat is hard, which is not good. I haven't even started driving yet, but that's going to be a negative point. Soon, I'll tell you the pros and cons of the ADV160. The cool thing about the scooter is that to get around the city, you don't ruin your shoes. So if you're going to work, for example, wearing dress shoes, or nicer shoes, or even little boots, you don't get that mark from shifting gears. Yeah, it ends up ruining them. There's no way around it. Also, in the rain, you have this fairing that protects you. So the scooter is a great option for urban centers, for traffic. It's a great choice. The start-stop is working here. I showed it to you. It keeps working. You can turn it off. It keeps working here. It's quick, it starts right up. It's just like on a motorcycle. The time it takes to shift a gear and get going here, it's agile. This scooter is perfect. It's really agile. It's no wonder it's considered so agile. People are willing to pay well above the suggested price. And when it comes to price, people even compare it to the X-Max 250, just so you have an idea of how absurdly expensive it is. And it's just a 160cc bike. Because of the price, people compare it to a 250cc since the ADV kind of arrived. So it doesn't make sense. The X-Max is better for riding in traffic. It goes, you just need to get used to it a little because it's wide, but it's nothing impossible to ride. The handlebars are really wide too. The ADV is very easy to ride, that's why I do recommend it for beginners. Wow! So if someone just got their driver's license, can they start with the ADV160? Is it good for working with it, like for delivery apps? Look, actually, even abroad, the vehicles used for deliveries are scooters, the Cubs. Here in Brazil, it's the street bikes, right? But I think you can work with it, yes. The caveat I mentioned about spending the whole day on the ADV is the combination of the suspension and the seat, which is very hard. Can you believe that some people ride over 5 kilometers daily? So, in terms of riding position, it's comfortable, but when it comes to the seat, the seat is not. So it ends up being a bit tough on the delivery person. Now, if you can adapt the seat and everything else, then maybe it could work. Well, let's see if it has enough power for you if you live in one city and work in another and need to take the highway, like to Alphaville. The person who goes by car has to pay a toll. Now, the little motorcycle, besides not getting stuck in traffic, it goes right through the middle, doesn't pay tolls. It's a good thing. So for someone who lives in Alphaville and works in São Paulo or vice versa, a scooter like this is really interesting. Plus, you save on fuel. You don't get stuck in traffic. You save on tolls. Let's check out the top speed of the ADV160. Yeah, now going uphill, so far it hasn't gone over 120, guys. Going uphill, it might slow down, but my hand is glued to the throttle here. It won't go. Here on the road, it goes 120 kilometers per hour. That's without a passenger or luggage. The windshield helps a little. Better than low, in my opinion. It doesn't block my view, so it directs more upward than straight ahead. Performance is what it is. Don't expect great performance from the ADV160. It's stable on the road. Of course, its purpose is urban, but you can take it on a highway without too much trouble. So you can ride it at BS speed. So for example, here it's 74.5645 miles per hour. I can go 74.5645 miles per hour, barely, but it goes at least according to the dashboard. If you put someone sitting back here, the performance will definitely drop, okay? But now let's wrap up the video with the positive and negative points, fuel consumption, and the price of the servo. The ADV is economical, but it really depends on the rider's driving style. Increased acceleration inevitably leads to higher fuel consumption. Here in my test city and highway, pushing everything to the limit on the Ayrton Senna, it had a dashboard average fuel consumption of 35 kilometers per liter. But there are people who get more and even less, especially if you have a passenger here. And you, what kind of fuel consumption do you get with the ADV160? Write it here in the comments. On Instagram, I got a question about the average insurance cost here for the ADV160. Don't miss out on real-time content launches behind the scenes and Amandinha's daily life. Follow me on Instagram. Just click the link that's here in the description or follow me there at Amanda Pagliari. Well, to answer you, we know that insurance really depends on the rider's profile, where they live, and their age. So you have to keep in mind that insurance will be different for each person. However, I did a quote here on the Protect Me website. The cool thing is that you can get a quote right from your home using the quick response code that's on the screen or the link in the description. And the best part is there's already a discount both with the quick response code and the link. So what happens next? Visit the website, fill out the forms truthfully, and you'll receive multiple insurance and insurer options. For example, I used the profile of a 40-year-old man with the Zone Improvement Plan code for Mogi das Cruzes, my current city of residence. Wow, several insurers came up here that are registered with Superintendents of Private Insurance, so it's not vehicle protection. You can trust it. And I'm going to take a look at some prices here. It started with the cheapest one, right? $679 already with my discount coupon. This amount is annual. And the cool thing is that you have coverage, 100% FIPE compensation, theft and robbery, and 24-hour assistance with a 200-kilometer tow truck. In other words, if something happens to you, like a flat tire or your scooter breaks down, you'll have coverage and 24-hour assistance. Oh, go ahead. I want a more complete insurance there. I found one from Itura for 1,641 reais, but with my discount code, it was reduced to 1,450 reais. So, you get a tracker and Itura monitoring through the app 100% FIPE compensation, bodily injury, and 30,000 reais in material damages. Interesting, right? You can pay this amount in installments, less than 121 reais per year. And then, if you want more comprehensive insurance, there's this one from Porto Seguro. Take a look. Theft and robbery, 100% FIPE value, covers total loss from collision. Partial repair deductible is $, 4,731 covers third-party bodily and material damages up to $. 10,000 tow truck coverage is 186 miles. Choose the best insurance for your budget and desired coverage. Are you unsure about which insurance is best for you? Visit the Protect Me site and click the WhatsApp button. They'll answer your questions. Use the quick response code or link to get a quote immediately. This allows you to secure a discount even without the motorcycle or license plate details yet. Even if you're still deciding which model to buy, you can get an insurance quote now to make the best purchase decision. I use and recommend Protect Me. Hundreds of followers have gotten it cheaper with Amandinha's coupon. It's very easy, no bureaucracy. Click, get a quote, done. Now, I'll discuss the pros and cons in my opinion. You have every right to agree, disagree, or add to it respectfully in the comments. To begin, you must subscribe to the Motoplay channel, the most charming and best-smelling channel in Brazil. The channel with the most two wheels for you. Yes, you need to be subscribed here to the Motoplay channel. Well, positive points. Design, right guys? Look at this beautiful scooter. I have to admit, I prefer the Italian style like Vespa or SH, but there's no denying it, right? This scooter's wonderful design is a big selling point. The finish is also excellent, showcasing Honda's attention to detail. These are two major positives of this scooter. The windshield is adjustable, which is another good feature. While not electric, the manual adjustment is efficient and easy to use. It could have just been a decorative windshield, but no, it comes with an adjustment, so that's a positive point. Another good thing is that it comes with a factory alarm, so you don't need to spend extra on the aftermarket. That's a good thing. Traction control, I admit I always leave it on, right? I don't turn it off, but it's a good thing. In fact, you can even turn it off, especially when you're off-road. And smart key or presence sensor is another positive point. You don't need to look for the key or have it dangling and hitting the scooter's bodywork. You just need to have it with you and it already recognizes it. This is really good. That's a plus. And look, Alexandra, I agree with you. This tire is amazing. The tire has a tread pattern designed for both off-road and on-road driving, providing good grip in both situations. It has surprised me since its launch, so that's a plus. Another good thing is how agile it is. Even with the wide handlebars, you can still ride between cars, so it's very agile for anyone looking for a scooter to get away from traffic. The start-stop, or idling stop as it's commonly called, the cool thing is that you use less fuel and pollute less, so that's a good thing. Another thing I noted here is that the dashboard is even more complete than the previous version. You have the average consumption, which I thought was cool. Could it show a range? It could show a range, but okay, it's well equipped, let's say. USB-C port, I thought that was good, a positive point. Another thing I liked was the suspension, but the front suspension, okay. The rear one will be in the negative points, just giving a spoiler. It's an economical scooter, so that's a positive point. And lastly, right, full LED. Since its launch, it's refined. I really like it when motorcycles come with LED, not just because of the battery consumption, but also because the lighting is better. And now I'm going to talk about the negative points of the ADV160, starting with the price, guys. I think this is the most prohibitive one, the one that prevents us ordinary people from being able to buy this scooter. I know that everything is expensive in Brazil. Since its launch, the Honda has been consistently expensive, both on the website and at dealerships. Unfortunately, it's simply not feasible, which is a drawback. Another thing I haven't liked since the launch, if you watched my launch and test video of the 150, you'll remember I mentioned the seat. It's still hard. That's a negative point. It's a really hard seat and it hurts. If it were mine, I would definitely change the seat. Along with the rear suspension, which is hard and bumpy, both of them work against you. So if it were a softer seat, maybe you would feel less of the impact from the rear suspension. I know that even with the 3 stages of the spring there with the external compartment, the rear suspension is bad in my opinion. I know that suspension is not the strong point of scooters. I need to say that. 99.9% of the scooters we have on the market have bad suspension, but here it doesn't bottom out. At least it didn't with me. But in my opinion, if you have any back problems or if that's an issue for you, take a test drive, or rather a test ride, before buying. Although this new generation has increased the space under the seat, it still doesn't easily fit a large, full-face helmet. So it ends up being a negative point that a regular helmet you find on the market doesn't fit. As you saw, only an open face helmet fits easily. And the last negative point, but not least, is that it only has ABS on the front wheel. Then they'll say, right, Honda gives that excuse that it's an adventure scooter on dirt. I don't know what else. Okay, but what about the PCX, right? It's not an adventure scooter, it's not for dirt, and it also doesn't have ABS on the rear wheel. In my opinion, it should have ABS on both wheels to give us motorcyclists more safety. So I think Honda does such a good job with safety. They have a training center that offers free courses for motorcyclists. They're always concerned about safety. I think this little detail was missing here on the rear wheel to make us even safer. And do you have more positive or negative points about the ADV160?
Write it down here below.
And it is available in 2 colors with a suggested retail price starting from 24,534 Rs. If you liked the video and thought it was really complete, leave a like and share it with your friends because I'm sure they'll enjoy getting to know this scooter. In WhatsApp and Facebook groups, everyone will like it. Join our channel membership. For a low price, you'll get exclusive content, photos, wallpapers, Amandinha's calendar, and enter monthly giveaways for helmets, jackets, and more, in addition to your free subscription. It's really worth being a member of the Motoplay channel. If you can't, no worries. Your free subscription already helps me a lot. Check out the cool scooter video above and another great video below. See you next time, Motokiss!